They put him on my left every time. It's so annoying.
They always put him on my right. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey voicing the annoyance at having Mikita to his left, like we talked about earlier.
It's not easy, especially when he's picked up a few hands, taken the aggressive action. You don't know what he's had so far. You have to wait an hour to find out.
Yeah.
So, for all you know, he could just be really going after you with nothing. Or relatively nothing.
The German's feisty this morning.
I know.
Almost funny.
Players concluded play at the end of last night around 11:45, maybe midnight. Had to be back here by noon.
That's not bad, actually.
It's not. It's a good turnaround time. Gives you plenty of time to get some sleep, actually get some breakfast in this morning.
You need a good hour and a half at least to wind down after a day of poker, especially as you get deeper in a tournament with multiple millions up top. So get home, 1 o'clock, 1:30, you're in bed. Wake up at 9:30.
I mean, he's making Asian stuff, so I could do it, right? I should have went like really deep into it.
This is German humor, he understood it.
I was so bad. Oh my god, the most basic 2 words you could say. The accent.
Shit, right? Come on, that was good.
Catching up with the action. Robert with another ace-king. Ace-king's just going around. Open up the button. John T. peeling his big blind. Action goes check on the flop. Here we are on the turn, and Jonathan reaching for chips.
They had these like barriers in between on the poker table. Was it here?
Yeah, plexiglass.
He's got to do something with the king 3 offsuit.
Absolutely.
Why not start with a bet?
He has some nice blocker effects here. He has a king. He has a heart in case hearts run off on the river. He might also just be identifying that his opponent, not c-betting flop, is lacking a lot of the stronger hands. Obviously, he could have something like ace-queen in check back, but he may never have queen-jack. He may not have queen-9. He may not have any straights. All those straight draws might bet the flop.
Nice. Nicely done. Takes it down.
Wasn't the worst thing that happened.
Yeah, and if your opponent's folding a hand as strong as ace-king on the turn, which just picked up the nut gutter,
what were you doing during COVID time?
overcards could be good.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
He is just such a legend of the game. He was one of the OG nosebleed players when I was coming up in the online streets.
Wow.
He was playing the 500 1K no limit games. Eventually transitioned into tournaments, playing almost exclusively the highest buy-ins. Every now and then he dabbles in a 10K. Perhaps wins a few million.
Hey, maybe he thought, okay, if I bust this, I'll jump in the 25K alpha 8. Why not?
Absolutely.
Fabian's favorite hands. King X suited.
Yeah.
On the button. Standard min raise, 160K, and Darren with a suited 10 in the big blind. He's now slightly under 10 big blinds. Let's see if he wants to get involved. Okay, flicks it in. $10 right in the window, followed by an 8.
That's a great flop for Darren's prospects at doubling up. Fabian might feel like this is just a strong enough hand to bet call off versus the 10 big blind stack. Very reasonable to do so. You're beating all of the 8s, all of the 5s. It's more than enough to be quite content with the play.
He's going to fire 110 into the middle. Now, if you're Darren here, how are you approaching this spot?
I think you prefer a small raise here.
All in.
Wow. Okay. Pretty quickly moves all in for 705,000 total. And you're right, Fabian just instantly calls off. Hand is too strong to let go for this price.
This obviously works as well in this situation.
Okay, Darren's got himself in a great spot here. 5 outs for Fabian. He's had a rough go of it so far this morning, this afternoon.
Certainly.
Queen of clubs on the turn, no help. One more card to go, and Darren will have a nice double up. River's another queen. Darren. Up to 1.9 million now. Finally over 20 bigs for him.
Yeah, he was certainly patient there, and it paid off. And maybe the first orbit at the table since break.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Very nice.
This side of the table's doing all right today.
I mean, credit to Michael Burke, who just keeps trying things. He's been shut down a few times now, and he's still going for it. You have to have that resilience if you're going to make it through these 12-hour days for multiple days in a row, make these deep runs.
Yeah, him and Fabian have that resilient aggression where you might expect a player to change gears after things aren't working, and if you do, you will be sorely mistaken. You may make some regrettable folds if that's your prediction.
4 million.
Thank you.
Okay, Darren defending the big. 10-6 suited. Mikita flopping bottom pair with his ace-4 off from the cutoff.
Darren with a gut shot. Mikita, yeah, with an interesting hand on this particular board texture. Chooses to just check it back. It's the type of hand we're getting check raised. It's really uncomfortable, which always makes for a good candidate for a check back. Darren picks up a double gutter here. Checks again, sort of respecting Mikita's check back range. Oof. Straight for Darren.
Quickly checks it over to Mikita.
Oh, this becomes interesting. Mikita might turn a hand like this into a bluff.
Check. Straight.
Sometimes.
Straight.
Okay. Favorite hand, huh?
I was thinking this. No blockers to it.
If you wouldn't have folded kings.
That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I play the unblocker.
Yeah. You went to the unblocker.
The post showdown bluff is one thing, but the post hole card bluff is just another level
Wow.
of lying and gamesmanship. I don't know if I'm there yet.
These guys came to play on all sorts of levels. Looks like we have another Club WPT Gold mystery hand. I like these. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire on this one, Jesse. Mikita raising to 200. It's gonna be fun to break down Mikita's ranges.
Pocket kings.
Pocket kings.
It's the only hand
Walked
you can
in.
have here. Yeah.
Okay. Michael's in there. Ace-8 suited.
It's easier to have an ace and an 8 when your opponent has pocket kings.
So we're gonna play this hand from Michael Burke's perspective here from the big blind. He flops middle pair. Mikita has us covered by about 1 million chips.
Very dynamic texture here, the type of board where Mikita could pick a number of different sizes. He chooses a check.
Okay.
That is quite sneaky with pocket
Did you say
kings.
you live here now, or you still in
I might no longer believe he has pocket kings. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
just poker? Yeah.
Burke checking again.
You travel around Europe too?
He no longer has kings. What does he have?
Really?
What are you thinking that he would check back this flop with? Something like sevens?
Yeah, sevens, something like pocket tens, pocket jacks make a lot of sense, especially with a heart. You could also have something like ace jack with a heart, probably closer to the jack of hearts. Given how deep they are, the ace of hearts likes betting a little more often. Jack of hearts likes checking, I believe. But a number of hands that do win at showdown quite often. Now he bets really small. That's very interesting as well.
Nice river for sevens.
Absolutely. You would imagine the turn bet falls in line more with the pocket tens type of hands than something like ace jack, which is pretty happy to just check back and get to showdown at that point. He could also just have checked back something like king jack with the jack of hearts, and now he's turning it into a bluff. Also reasonable.
It does tend to feel a little bit more leaning towards showdown when he
Yeah.
checks back the flop, though.
Mikita cutting out. Nice size bet. This is starting to feel a lot like pocket jacks or a weak queen, the type of queen that would check back. Maybe the queen 10 of diamonds. Something along those lines. Queen 9 of diamonds.
Doesn't feel great when you're sitting here in Michael Burke's shoes.
It's difficult to come up with enough bluffs when your opponent was clearly somewhat showdown bound on the flop. If anyone can balance their range with enough bluffs, it's very likely to be Mikita. But that doesn't mean he has more than enough bluffs, and you don't have a particularly exciting bluff catcher. You don't have a heart in your hand. You'd prefer to have a queen because you can maybe beat a little bit of value.
He does call him off here. Let's see what he's got. Queen, jack offsuit. So yes, like you said, somewhat of a weaker queen, but not too weak.
No, that was
Pretty
probably
surprising.
Yeah, that has to be quite close to the top of his checkbacks. Checkback range on the flop.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
$2 million.
I didn't see how far you were.
That's 20 bigs. That's a lot.
To have 15 seconds every second. We don't get more time banks for like fucking it.
Did Michael Burke just say he'd pay $2 million for more time banks? How much is up top in this?
I think he means chips.
No. I think
Oh, okay, fair enough.
that might be for the dealers.
What are you wondering?
The break.
Be hard to make a profit on that.
Seems difficult.
3.1 million for first.
I'm no mathematician, but if you're paying more dollars for time chips, then you can win in the tournament.
These two back at it. Blind versus blind. Mikita limps in with the 10-5 off.
Fabian would probably love to raise here. Unfortunately, he has almost too good of a hand to raise. Prefer to have something a little bit weaker. Mikita flops one of the lower flush draws. No real showdown value without a diamond on the turn or river. There's the diamond, and Fabian picks up a pair and a gut shot. Might keep Mikita honest with that type of holding. Excuse me.
Do you know who that service lady is? Has she been up here? Thanks.
Check on the turn. River.
Oh,
5th diamond.
bit of a nasty river card for Fabian. Depending on the size from Mikita. Yeah, Mikita just goes one big blind. So Fabian is essentially calling 150 to hopefully win 150, since he can never win the entire pot. They're both he hopes they're both playing the board. He could bluff raise. That's a real option.
After checking back the turn.
I mean, I imagine he has some number of 10 of diamonds type of hands that want to raise for value.
Okay, good fold.
Thinks better of it.
Greedy. Or one level ahead.
The black tea? Yep. Thank you.
That's our second casualty of the day. 1 per level.
Thank you.
Mikita with pocket eights. It feels like an eternity since we've seen him in a pot. It's probably been 4 hands.
I don't think I actually picked up a water. No, I just gave.
Okay,
Thank
Michael
you.
with a real hand in the bag.
Thank you. And then I got one of him. Thank you.
I want to see him in post-flop action.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice flop for him. Jack 4 deuce, 2 spades. Could see Mikita going either way with this one. It's a pretty dry board. Usually tend to see bet this one, but with his exact hand.
Yeah, especially from early position, you might just play pure bets and make them small. If you were to play some big bets and some checks, eights would fit nicely into the check category. He decides to just go small and bet everything here. I think that's
good. Easier
Yeah.
to play, probably.
much easier to play.
That would be savage.
Now in Michael's shoes. Oh, he just calls. I was going to see what you would do.
It does feel like Michael could also go either way with this hand. This is a good example of why it's nice sometimes to just call. Now, we know Mikita has eights. It's a very showdownable hand. He will probably check turn. But if Mikita didn't have a pair, you'd identify the king as a great hand to run perhaps a triple barrel on. And now you're sitting on a king yourself. You're very happy to call down against a player who's very capable. Yeah, pocket eight's a little too good. Mikita's just going to go to showdown. He's beating all the 4s that would peel from the big blind. He's beating all the 2s that would peel from the big blind.
Do you go to training park or just?
I do a little bit of pop, but not very good.
Queen on the river, a bit of a dicey card.
Same.
Have you been to Austria?
For Michael, you probably expect Mikita to mostly bet when he has 9-10, ace-10, queen-10. So it doesn't hit him as much as it might initially seem.
250 is on the smaller side into an 800K pot.
Yeah, it's cool with king 10, especially you can perhaps induce some bluffs from your opponent when they have a hand like pocket eights or something like ace 9 suited that decided to check back the turn.
Kita wants to see.
Yeah, fair enough. There are a number of draws that missed. His opponent could even turn some low pair into a bluff. So.
Oh.
I figured you wanted to.
They need to cancel them for next week.
And now we get confirmation. Mikita won his seat in this 10K in a high roller leaderboard this past summer. That's why he already had the 10K
What, you mean
seat.
all the sites putting tournaments on the same
Makes a lot of sense.
Has anyone seen updates from the FP?
Not since the last 6.
Adamo got 6.
They couldn't have just given him a nice watch or something. Given somebody else a chance to win the tournament.
I didn't see the hand where you said.
No, I remember Adamo being like 1 of 9 in like the GG millions with like super like
Ooh, we've got ourselves another Club WPT Gold mystery hand. Darren.
All right, here
It's
we
going to
go.
be our pre-flop raiser, raising it up to 200 on the button with a6 offsuit. Michael Burke. I'm going to have to guess his hand.
Well, so far he's got 2 cards.
986 flop. I imagine, yeah, Darren would check this back. Flopping bottom pair.
He just gets paid.
Just lets everyone else make the
Pretty
mistake.
dynamic board.
Yeah, tricky turn for Darren to navigate if Burke fires any sort of bet in there. Burke does have to respect the fact that Darren's check-back range is centered around a lot of hands that improve on the 10 turn.
I mean, I hit it at some of the times. So.
For instance, maybe something
see.
like Queen Jack does bet, but 6-7 might check back here.
I don't want to talk about what I had. I still hate myself for folding.
Quick call from Burke on the turn.
Ace is up for Darren. This hand has turned into a fairly strong bluff catcher. Burke just giving up.
I think the turn went, he called the turn, right?
I think Michael bet the turn and
Okay,
Darren
okay.
called.
Last year, at least they made it doable, you know, to come like for the pros who want, for the pros who really like trying to play both of them.
Doesn't feel like your opponent has a straight when they check the river.
Darren going for half pot.
They're pretty shameless with the way they changed their the entry stuff. WSOP.
If Burke were to find some sort of check raise here, I imagine Darren would be quite skeptical that he didn't just bet a straight in the first place.
They extended it until what? For how many levels?
2.1.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Pulling
Berg
the
is the
trigger.
exact type of player
Snap
who could
fold.
find a bluff here.
Snap folds.
Yup.
Wow.
I was going to say, I am really skeptical of this one.
Yeah, yeah.